2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 7th of January and it's National Tempura Day. And a big happy birthday to Kenny Loggins, Nicolas Cage, Mark Lamar and Lewis Hamilton. On January the 6th, 2021, Trump supporters broke into the home of the US Congress, attacking police officers who stood in their way and attempting to interrupt the process of certifying the election results. On Thursday, the anniversary of that attack, US President Joe Biden gave a speech at the centre of the same building. He had strong words to say about the violent mob and took square aim at Donald Trump for spreading a web of lies which led to the insurrection.
Those who stormed this Capitol, and those who instigated and incited, and those who called on them to do so, held a dagger at the throat of America, at American democracy. They didn't come here out of patriotism or principle. They came here in rage, not in service of America, but rather in service of one man.
He couldn't even bring himself to say Donald's name, calling him the former president instead, and fired another shot at him, saying Trump's bruised ego couldn't accept that he'd lost the 2020 election.
He's not just a former president. He's a defeated former president. Defeated by a margin of over 7 million of your votes in a full and free and fair election. There is simply zero proof the election results are inaccurate.
There were 179,756 new cases of COVID-19 and 231 additional deaths reported on Thursday. With hospitalisation numbers rising and with 60% of people in intensive care unvaccinated and 90% without a booster shot, there remains real concern about the pressure the NHS is under. The Army's now dispatched 200 personnel to assist the NHS, and while in Italy vaccination is now mandatory for the over 50s, Boris says the UK is keeping its voluntary approach for now. He did, however, call out the Anti Vaxers.
You've got people out there spouting complete nonsense about vaccination. They are totally wrong, and I think it's time that government call them out on what they're doing. It is absolutely wrong, it's totally counterproductive, and the stuff they're putting out on social media is complete mumbo jumbo.
Russian troops have arrived in Kazakhstan to help control violent protests in the country. The unrest began on Sunday after the cost of fuel doubled in price and has become increasingly deadly, with dozens of people killed in the streets and more than 1,000 injured. The main city of Almaty has been at the centre of the conflict, where a presidential home and mayor's office were also set on fire. President Tokayev called to end the conflict with words and not violence.
Those calls to attack the government and military buildings are completely illegal. This is a crime that could be followed by punishment. The authorities will not fall, but we want mutual trust and dialogue rather than conflict.
Novak Djokovic's trip to Australia is not going too well, is it? First, he's not vaccinated. Second, he messed up his visa application. And third, well, as anyone who's seen border security on telly knows, Australia doesn't exactly mess about with those that don't follow the rules. Worst of all, now his mum's involved. At least his dad's staying out of it. Oh, actually.
Shame on them. The whole free world, together with Serbia, should rise. This isn't a battle for Serbia and Novak. It's a battle for 7 or something billion people. For freedom of expression, free speech, freedom of behaviour. Novak didn't break any laws, just as 7 billion people didn't break any laws. They want to subdue us, and for us all on our knees. It won't fly. Freedom, Novak. We're all with you.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Rafa Nadal's claws come out for Novak, and the apprentice candidate set sail on the high seas. Right after this. Welcome back.
One tennis player who made it safely to Australia and is already playing in the Melbourne Open is the vaccinated Rafael Nadal. He in fact tested positive for COVID last month, but's been encouraging his fellow tennis players to also get jabbed, and said his rival could be playing if he just followed the rules.
In some way, I feel sorry for him, but at the same time, he knows he knew the conditions since a lot of months ago, so he makes his own decision. I went through the COVID. I have been vaccinated twice, and if you do this, you don't have any problem to play here.
Meow. Saucer of milk for table 3, please. Have you broken your New Year's resolution already? Well, you know what? You're not alone if you have. Kate Blanchett told Jimmy Fallon she can't stick to hers, even when she's resolving to just be a better human being. What's she done?
And I found this document. I thought, this is really cool. It's New Year's resolutions from 2008, about 25, 26 beautifully handwritten resolutions. And I read through them. And I hadn't kept one of them. It was things like be kinder, be a better person, be more generous, be more patient. I haven't done any of it.
Oh, please.
The Apprentice returned to our screens last night, and in typical fashion, Lord Sugar's victims were tasked with creating a new cruise line brand and design a logo and an advert and a social media campaign in one day, and then pitch it to industry professionals. I mean, you know what, that's a lot. I guess the main thing is to stay calm, level-headed, and definitely don't oversell yourself.
I'm the EST of everything, which means I'm the coolest, smartest, and wickedest in business.
Oh, God. And remember, look, if you're under pressure, for example, about the truly odd choice of colours for your cruise ship logo, just be direct and honest. Don't just speak without thinking. I mean, that would be awful.
Is there a reason that you chose green and brown instead of perhaps an aqua or a blue or...
So, you know, with trees, for example, it's brown and then it's green because of the leaves. It's just so because, you know, when it comes to healthy living and lifestyle, it's all to do with greenery. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys want to also add, or...
No, actually, that's fine. Guys, how did you find that?
The logo took a battering.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.